Hello, it's Marcus. Oh, sorry for me saying comma a couple times in the past video. I was writing a lot using voice chat or voice text, and I say that a lot. But, anywho, alright, let's get back into the story. So, I ended off with telling you that the cannibal who recently took off his camouflage and headed straight over to where that guy that was tracking me, the cannibal headed straight over to him to start fighting him. And I took that opportunity, as I said. I hid myself and the wolf, and then after the cannibal said, "I thought someone was there," the guy said, "Well, you thought wrong." And then the cannibal went over to the guy in the direction, and a battle ensued. But, as I said, I took the opportunity to escape with the wolf. So I decided to teleport about another couple miles away, and half a day's time, not half a day's time, about 2 miles away from the village that I was heading to. And that's what I just did. So, teleported, popped up a couple miles away from the village, and then decided to set up camp right there. Even though it was during the daytime, the area where I teleported to was still kind of shadowy with all the forest and bushes that were near us. Kind of lucky, we weren't on the main road. So, I told the wolf out loud. I said, "Hey, you want to just stay right here until it's dark, and then we can head into the village?" The wolf said, in my head, I guess he didn't want to talk out loud, he said, "Sure." So, yeah, that's what we did. I put out, well, my sleeping roll I kind of turned into a pillow, and I used that I put it up against a tree and was using that to lay on. Just as I was about to lie down, or to lean against it, I noticed a smell coming through the air. And I looked at the wolf, and he nodded. I said, "Alright, mask your scent." And I did the same. And then I said, "It smells like regular humans." The wolf said telepathically, "Yes, it does, but be careful. I smell murderous intent." I said, "Don't worry, I will be." And then we hid in the bushes. Luckily, it was a couple soldiers, not soldiers, but a couple mercenaries returning from, I guess, collecting a bounty in somewhere else to the town that we were heading to. And one of the soldiers I saw on them had a piece of the gold plate that I threw. So I immediately went invisible, snatched it off of him, and went right back to where I was hiding. I waited until they were a safe distance away, and I became visible again, and the wolf said, "Why'd you do that?" I said, "This piece if the guy that was using it to track me before I broke it, he can still track me through it. I kind of want him to continue tracking me. He most likely knows somebody else is with me, but he doesn't know what. And judging from how confident he sounded, not cocky, but of how confident he sounded against the cannibal, against the camouflaged cannibal, this guy, whoever he is or whatever he is near my level. Probably a little stronger than you, but near my level. And with that, the wolf looked at me and said, well, I haven't trained in a while, so that's probably why I'm weaker than you. I said, maybe. And then I heard some rustling, and then I took out a needle that I had, and I threw it in the direction of the sound. And I heard a small, like a peep, almost like a screech that was cut short, or a yell that was cut short. And out of the bushes jumped a bunny, or a rabbit. But the needle had already punctured its throat, so it couldn't scream, but it was running around. I grabbed it by the ears, and I handed it to the wolf. I said, here. And I took the needle from it, and I handed it to the wolf. And then the wolf ate it raw. I said, there you go. There's your dinner. The wolf smiled and said, thanks. I said, don't worry about it. Then the wolf said, how many minutes or how many hours until it's nighttime? I said, probably, well, if it just became day about an hour ago, I would say about 6 hours, maybe 7 hours. The wolf kind of sighed and said, I'm gonna go exploring this forest and this road. I told the wolf, do you want me to tag along? The wolf said, sure. I said, alright then, packed up my stuff, and we were on the way. The wolf was just about to ask me out loud, telepathically, why don't we walk on the road? All of a sudden, I grabbed the wolf and I pushed him down, and I said, be quiet. I hear a horse trotting, or I hear a horse running. All of a sudden, on the road, a horse just dashed by with a rider, with a guy on the horse, but the guy was bleeding. And I quickly used my speed, grabbed the guy off the horse, and sat the guy down up against a tree, and I asked the guy, are you still alive? The guy said he couldn't talk because he was so wounded. So I slowly started to heal this guy. And the guy opened his eyes, saw me, didn't see the wolf, but saw me, and said, who are you? I said, don't worry, I'm a friend. I'm healing you right now. Can you tell me what happened? The guy said, with a little bit more strength, my squad was attacked by some invisible beast. I said, how big was this beast? Even though I knew what it was, the guy said, I don't know. It was huge, though. It was knocking over trees, running at us. I said, where? The guy said, back in that direction, like a couple miles. I said, well, it's kind of glad that I'm not heading in that direction. And the guy said, yeah, because I thought for sure I was gonna die. And for some reason, there was something else that was with the beast, but I couldn't tell. I said, could you see anything, or what was it? The guy said, I don't know. I couldn't tell what it was. I said, well, okay, that's fine then. Here, just rest. I'll continue healing you. So I did. And the wolf appeared. I could see the wolf. And the wolf talked to me telepathically, saying, why are you helping that guy? I said, well, he might be able to tell us a little more information, and I can kind of use him to get into the village if we would be checked or whatever. The wolf said, that's a good idea. I said, don't worry. I'll heal up this guy. So I continued healing, and about an hour later, the guy was fully healed. He stood up and said, thank you. How can I repay you? I said, you don't need to repay me, but where are you headed? The guy pointed in a direction towards the village and said, there's a village about a couple hours north. I said, a village? What kind of village? The knight, I'm just gonna say knight because he is a knight. The horseman. The horseman said, oh, it's pretty much a trading village and a merchant village, but there is an inn there you can stay. I said, oh, that's perfect. I said, is there a tax to getting in? The horseman said, I will tell the people at the gate what you look like, so when you come in, they will waive the tax for you. I said, oh, I'm grateful, thank you. The guy said, and the horseman said, you're very welcome, and thank you again for saving me, and started to walk off. And at that time, I smelt the all too familiar smell. Rancid meat. And I told the horseman, continue walking, because something is coming up behind you, but it has no idea that I'm here. So continue walking like nothing happened. The horseman said, what's coming? I said, I think it's that beast from before. The horseman said, be very careful. Whatever it is has a really good sense of smell. I said, okay, I'll be careful. And I continued in the bushes, making no noise because I was invisible, along with the wolf. We're walking side by side with the horseman. And I asked the horseman telepathically, I said, why isn't the beast attacking you? The horseman said, I don't know. Maybe it wants something, or maybe it's just following me to get to the village. I said, here, I can try to distract it. So I picked up a rock, and I threw it over the creature's head so it wouldn't see it, and then it landed and hit a tree, and then the creature just ran to the tree about 10 feet away, which is not very far. And I told the horseman to hurry up and come in the bushes by me. He did. I made him invisible. And at that exact moment, I heard, we all three, me, the wolf, and the horseman, heard the cannibal, or heard the camouflage beast speak and says, I know you're here, horseman. Come out, so I can devour you. And the horseman was just about to step out with his sword. I stopped him and said, no, you cannot win against that. And the horseman said, what is it? I said, it'll reveal itself. And right on cue, pretty much, the camouflaged, cannibal. A camouflaged cannibal took off the camouflage and showed itself, and then the horseman visibly got frightened. And he took a step back and stepped on a twig that snapped. And the cannibal turned its head ever so slowly towards the direction, and with a big smile on its face said, "I can see you." And I looked up, and it's truth be told, I guess I used more magic than I thought I did, I guess I used more magic than I thought I did beforehand to teleporting, because a horseman was now visible, and the cannibal turned and says, "If you come out here, we can fight, and if you manage to wound me at all, I will let you go." And I ducked, me and the wolf ducked, just as our invisibility wore off. The wolf said, "That was close." I said, "Yeah, but I have a plan. The sword the horseman has, I enchanted it with fire damage. Now this cannibal, see how it has moss all over it? That's gonna burn very quickly. And cannibals specifically, the normal size ones, since they live in a forest, or they live in wooded areas or caves, they pretty much, the crackling of the fire, the fire when it slices through the air, it will distract them. And then I can help this horseman beat it. And the wolf says, "That'll work." I said, "Yeah." And I telepathically told the horseman, "I enchanted your blade with the element of fire. You can do 6 full slashes before the enchantment runs off. So make those slashes count." The horseman says, "Okay, thank you." And then with one slash, the horseman dashed. Well, with one movement, the horseman dashed at the cannibal, and the cannibal dashed at the horseman. And the horseman was planning to do an overhead slash with 2 hands, but it would be too slow. So just as the cannibal was beginning to throw his punch, the horseman switched hands in mid-swipe and cut off the cannibal's hand. And immediately, that was 1 charge of the elemental attack. So he has 5 more. And the cannibal screeched and said, "I sensed no magic on you. Who gave you that?" And the horseman said, "A good friend. Now you die." And with that, 4 more slashes. Boom, the left arm of the cannibal off. Boom, the right arm of the cannibal off. And the 2 more, boom, boom, injured his legs to where he had to go on the ground. And then there was 1 more slash. Just as the horseman was about to finish the cannibal, I stepped out along with the wolf, but I kept the wolf invisible. I stepped out, and the cannibal says, "Who are you?" I said, "You already know who I am, but kinda late for you." And with that, I took the sword from the horseman, cut off the cannibal's head, and in the same slash, in the same movement, stabbed him in the heart, and his body exploded. Alright, if this video gets any views, same as the last one, I'll make another one. Okay, Bye-bye.